Don? Good. I don't think they can hear me.
Yeah, Don can hear you.
Oh, they got me. Okay, sorry. All right, man. Well, it's tough loss for us. You get behind in the second half and get to 3 scores. We continue to fight. And the thing I was the biggest, most proud of is nobody on that sideline ever thought we were out of it. We continue to play to win, coach to win. Obviously came up short. So credit to Oklahoma State. There was a ton of good stuff. We came here to win the game. We came to play aggressive and try to call an aggressive game and play to win. And we came up short. And there's no, that's not what this program is going to be about, but the effort and the intensity and the vibe all the way through is what we will be about. So I credit to those guys and the players in that locker room continuing to fight. And that's what we got to have as we continue to try to change this culture and turn this program around. And so for that, I'm proud of them.
We'll start with questions. We'll go to Don Williams to start.
Matt, can you discuss the thought process on trying the onside kick?
Yeah.
That backfired right after scoring the touchdown?
Yep. It was a look that we had seen on tape that we thought we could take advantage of. Something we practiced on all week. We got it confirmed on several kicks in the first half. Made the decision at halftime. We go out and we come out and we score. We take the lead. That's the best time to try to do it. We just didn't execute it well.
And I guess speaking on the same subject of onside kicks, the onside kick that you attempted late in the game, what was the obviously the plan there is to get the ball, but where did the execution go wrong?
We just didn't kick it 10 yards. Is that, you talking about the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was awesome. The second one just didn't quite reach 10 yards.
Go to Jarrett Johnson.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Jarrett.
With your defense, I believe it was 3 straight possessions in the second half had stopped Oklahoma State. I'm going back to the onside kick decision. I had to ask about this. But 3 straight stops on defense, you take the lead. Was there any thought maybe let's just keep playing defense, let's just keep playing football the way we're playing, or was it just the thought was the decision was already going to be made or was already made and y'all were going to onside kick it?
Jarrett, that's obviously someone can debate that. They did have a stop before that, but it was something that by scheme and by where their guards were playing, we felt like we had it. We just didn't execute it well, and that's a point where we're, we bring in those things and you have times to call them in a game, and you don't wait till the fourth quarter to call those. That's a surprise onside kick or surprise bunt type of onside kick. From a football standpoint and the space standpoint, the space was there. We didn't execute it well then.
Have you talked with anybody on the kickoff coverage team because it seemed like the ball was there and then they just kind of ran past it. Has anyone talked about that play yet, or is it too soon after?
Probably obviously a little too soon, Jarrett. I didn't see it on replay either, so I haven't seen it on tape.
Go to Eric Kelly.
Coach, on that 1 4th down run where you ended up going with Xavier, why him instead of Sir Roderick, who had success on those 4th down runs on the previous drive?
The ones in the first half when Sir Roderick was in, was he in on the ones in the first half?
Yeah, he was in on those first 2, including the touchdown, and then you guys used Xavier on the one where you weren't successful.
Eric, I think it was probably just a matter of he was in that series or he was in that rotation. I would have to go back and look. You kind of catch me off guard. I don't think we subbed him in, but I think it was just part of the natural flow in that rotation. He certainly played well and merited, continued playing at that time.
Go to Shehan.
Hey, Coach. For example, on that onside kick, it just seems like a couple times this year and even last year, there have been some times where, I'm sure it wasn't part of the calculus that they might pick it up and return it for a touchdown, right? I mean, how do you kind of evaluate where you guys are when some of these big mistakes are turning into maybe bigger mistakes than anybody could have expected?
Well, Sheehan, they don't start out to be a mistake. It's when you don't execute it and it backfires, then, you look at it and we'll evaluate it. But it looked good all week. We've been practicing it for 2 weeks. I get it. If it backfires, it doesn't work. You get questions, and that's, I think, certainly part of the business that y'all are in, that I'm in, and I'm good with all that. If it works and we get a chance to go up, now we're up 2 scores and in a game that we're anticipating being, back and forth in terms of the scoring. So certainly understand that.
Well, and it seems like in this game, there were just so many opportunities that you guys had where it looked like things were going the right way, and then just one piece of bad luck would maybe switch things around. I mean, how do you kind of get guys to play through that, and why do you think that stuff still happens?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that we are playing through that. Quite frankly, I think we are, because things, bad things happen. And, I think a sign of a team not playing through it is a team that gives up and doesn't play hard. And I don't think anybody saw that when that bad thing happened. I think you saw us rally together, and whether it was offense in the fourth quarter, that late third and fourth quarter, the defense with turnovers after that. That's how I would evaluate it. And look at our guys in terms of the reaction and the play after that.
Go back to Don.
Matt, the fact that you did not see Chuba Hubbard or LD Brown, there's some expectation that Chuba was not going to play, but with neither of those guys out there and getting Desmond Jackson today, did that how were you affected based on what you had game plan for defensively to see a different running back?
Don, I don't think much. They did a nice job of blocking. Their tight ends did, I thought, a tremendous job on the edge and getting on our outside linebackers. But from a schematic standpoint, I don't think it changed much. He certainly played very, very well, though. Hats off to him. He did play well. It's a good.
Speaking of your personnel, what happened with Rico?
He's got a knee injury, Don, and I'll know more tomorrow or Monday. They held him out for the rest of the game, precautionary.
Okay, that happened in the game, correct?
Very early, yeah, Don.
Yes, yeah.
First or second series, early in the first.
Right. Yeah, I saw him out there early, and then he was gone. Henry was unavailable. Was that related back to his elbow at all, or something else?
No, just he would have been available. He suited up, so he did suit up though.
Go to Eric.
Is he on the unavailable list?
Go back to Eric.
Okay, Coach, in terms of the passes downfield, it seemed like you guys had a lot of success in it, especially in that second half. In terms of not doing it as much early on, is that just the way that the offense goes, or is that just because you were able to kind of suck them up a little bit, those opportunities became available later in the game?
Yeah, Eric, I think going back and watching it and evaluating it, I think we'll see that, we did attempt them. We threw a couple out of bounds or right on the edge of being out of bounds. But we put the ball up in the air. I know to Vasher, I think maybe twice early in the game, we had some intermediate deep crossers that just didn't connect. So in terms of the short, medium, we had some quick hitting screens. I think there was a variety in it. And, I think David adjusted in the second half and did a really nice job with a couple of, concepts that didn't work early, but stayed with it. But I think there were a few in the early, we just didn't connect.
I will go to Phil and then Don to close.
Coach, DeMarcus Fields was going up against Wallace one-on-one for a lot of the game. How'd you think he held up?
Well, certainly Tylen is he's an elite player. And I think DeMarcus Fields is a really good corner. So I think there was some give and take there. Tylen won a couple times. I think DeMarcus won a few times. And so it's it's a battle. That was certainly a highlight battle, right there. And DeMarcus was following him in man coverage most of the night, not every time, but most of the time.
All right, we'll finish with Don.
Man, to what extent is your defense getting worn down, especially given the all the personnel that you continue to lose here in the second half of the season?
Yeah, it's good point, Don. I mean, we got guys out. Eli had season-ending surgery this week on his knee, and so he's out. Obviously losing Rico today, hurt. We've got you got two starters on the D line out, Nelson and Banasaur. But the thing that I respect and appreciate is part of the culture we're trying to create is a no excuse kind of culture. And those defenders and those defensive coaches, Don, they don't give excuses. Those are facts, and that you're pointing out, and then that's true and it's real. And whether it's COVID issues or it's season ending, especially up front, we've had them. But the thing is our guys continue to fight, Don, and they continue to claw. And I know the stats. Oklahoma State's good on offense. We knew that coming in. And they got guys that make plays. Spencer Sanders is a really good quarterback, but the fight and the effort continue to be there, and we just won't create excuses.
Did you lose when Xavier came out there with about 5 minutes left in the game? From my vantage point, it looked like, did he hurt his shoulder again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I wanted to clarify on Henry.
Yes, sir.
Because I didn't see him go through pregame warmup, but then
He didn't. Yeah, he is. He's managing an injury, Don, and in doing his best to get through it. I think he would have been there in an emergency, kind of a 911 situation today, but hopefully we can get him well throughout this week.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll have Sir Roderick Thompson there in just a few minutes. All right, we'll start with questions for Sir Roderick. And we'll go to Eric Kelly to start.
So Roger, can you take us through those two fourth down runs on that, what was it, the second or third possession? Seemed like ones where they went zero blitz and you just kind of went one way and then were able to use your vision to cut back on them.
Yeah, on the first one, are you talking about like the 1 yard gain on that first one?
Yeah, the first fourth down and then the one that you broke for a touchdown.
All right, okay, I got you. So on the first one, I was just trying to get the first down initially, but then I saw something. I just saw something out the glance of my eye, and then I was just looking at Travis Koontz coming off the block. And then on the second one, I looked at him again, and then it looked like he had him pretty sealed up. So I was just like, "It goes to the crib."
Was that something that this week, especially with how much they kind of run that man coverage, that you guys had identified as something that you could take advantage of on those zero blitz, where if you make one cut, you're gonna have a lot of room?
Well, for me necessarily, it was just I knew last year I had a couple opportunities to make them pay on that zero blitz, and I didn't. So that was just my big thing. But yeah, we have talked about it.
Go to Ronald Clark and then Don after him.
Obviously you just talked about it a little bit there, but was it, sort of their game plan against your skills, or was it also just the fact that, you had that week off to sort of get healthier because you obviously, look more like yourself today?
I mean that week off really helped, but I just think we came in very prepared with a great game plan.
Go to Don.
So Roderick, the plays that you scored the 2 touchdowns on, the 59-yard run and the 24-yard run, were those the same call, or they just look similar?
Yeah, I think that was the same call.
Same call, yeah. What did you see as kind of the key blocks in that on those 2 plays?
You said the key blocks?
Yes.
Really, it was just Travis Kuntz. His block it really that was the main thing I was kind of looking at to see if he cut it off, cut off the backside pressure, and that's what he did. So it was just they had no help in the back, so I didn't really have to do anything. I just had to run straight and run fast.
And we asked you about it obviously last week, but your number of carries, you had 17 carries today. How does it feel to kind of get that kind of workload again?
I mean, it feels good, I guess. It's just today I just had the hot hand. Like, that's all it is. So, but like I said last time, it didn't really matter about the number of carries. It was just whoever had a hot hand. And today, me and X really played good, along with the O-line.
Go to Shahan.
So Roderick, how do you think you guys were kind of able to stay with it so much in the second half, and why do you think you were able to kind of make it a game there at the end?
We just kept on believing in what we could do. We know that we're a good team, but like some things just don't work out our ways. But we just didn't stop believing because we know we're capable of.
Do you kind of feel like, when things like that, like the sort of onside kick thing happened, that was returned for a touchdown? I mean, how have you guys kind of been able to take some of this bad luck and these bad things that have happened? How have you kind of been able to put them behind you and keep fighting?
I mean, bad things happen in a football game all the time. So like, that's just a part of the game. I figured, I guess we know that's part of the game, and so we have a pretty short memory when it comes to things like that.
Go back to Eric Kelly.
So Roderick, with the emergence of guys like Xavier this year, do you feel like, and even Taj as well, do you feel fresher and more than you did maybe in past seasons at this point in the season?
Yeah, 100%. It's just like last year around this time, I was battling some ribs, a sprained ankle, like a couple of other injuries. But this year, this is probably like the freshest and like the best my body has felt, like period, probably since like middle school. So yeah.
All right, we'll finish with Ronald Clark.
Obviously every game that you lose sort of hurts, but when you guys, really give an effort the way you guys did in this one and give yourself a chance to sort of win it at the end, despite everything that happened, over this entire game, what's sort of your initial reaction to, that last buzzer going off and you guys being on that losing end?
My initial reaction is it's just a lot of hurt because like you said, we came up close, but we didn't get the job done. So yeah, that sucked. But like, you just think about like all the good things that we did this game and how we can just fix the bad things, and then we're right there. So I mean, we're not out there looking for more victories, but it's something to feel good about.
All right, we'll be back with Zach McPherson here in just a few minutes.
Thank y'all.
All right, we'll start with questions for Zach. We'll start with Eric Kelly.
Zach, Coach said that onside kick in the third quarter was already decided at halftime, regardless of how the defense was playing. And I know you trust the coaches in their decision making, but is there that frustration level as a defensive unit when you're playing really well and the offense scores to go up, that from the outside maybe it looks like they don't trust you when you guys are playing really well and you have a chance to protect the lead, and instead they go for something like an onside kick?
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. It definitely brings up a little second thought as a defensive player. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, you got to tell yourself, remind yourself that it's a team sport. And, you know, sometimes you got to take a gamble. I mean, you know, we would have loved to have that play back. You know, it's just one of them things, like, you just take it to the chin. We knew we had to try something to get some more momentum going. I mean, I know the defense, we were playing really good ball at that time, but, you know, it's just one of those calls. I mean, we just go with it, and however way it goes, we just keep on playing.
You got another interception in this one. Personally, how high is your confidence level compared to maybe last year at this point in time?
Yeah, for sure. My confidence level is through the roof. We just out there having fun. I mean, you know, at this point in the season, I mean, we just tell everybody, just why not have fun with it? You know, keep getting your hands on the ball. The coaches still harp on us about that. You know, especially at DB, that's where your money's at. Getting your hands on the ball, causing havoc.
Go to Phil.
Zach, Chuba Hubbard was out today, but they still had a huge game running the ball. What is it about Oklahoma State that makes them so hard to stop on the ground?
From the outside in, corner, I mean, what I probably can say is I feel like we had a few misalignments coming from the inside, and, you know, that allowed them to make some explosive plays. I probably have to look at the film. I don't know really too much from, you know, I don't really think they hit us too much on the perimeter. I think it was mainly bounced up, then they bounced it to the perimeter once they got to the second level. So I had to look at film and evaluate some things.
Go back to Eric.
Obviously, you're playing well, Zach, but when you have so many interceptions and you're around so many turnovers in general, do you feel like it's a little bit of disrespect that QBs keep throwing at you? I mean, they kind of know how the script goes at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. It wonders me. Like, they took a shot. I think it was the first quarter, that first series, but I like it. Should have given me more opportunity. The more they keep throwing, the more opportunity. So
This defense as a whole, we've talked about it throughout the season, how the confidence keeps growing and growing. When you guys got into that kind of role in that game, I think end of the first half, maybe start of the second, can you take us through how that feels? I mean, for a defense that has had its struggles this season.
right. I would just say, like, we know the game always, like, we tell ourselves the game always going to come down on the defense. And we like that. Like, we really like that. So we start feeding off each other. Somebody make a play, then another person make a play, then another person make a play. And next thing you know, we on a roll. So it's really, I'd say, like a confidence thing and this chemistry of the defense. We're on a totally different level this year than we were last year. And, you know, that's an accommodation to these coaches. They're doing a really good job with it. So.
And then DeMarcus on the other side had as tough a matchup as you're going to find in the Big 12. How do you think he did? And what do you tell him in terms of plays where, like the Thailand touchdown, where he caught it, but I mean, not much more DeMarcus could have done on that play.
Right. I feel like DeMarcus did a hell of a job. He's a great player. I mean, like you said, Thailand's he's on scholarship too. I mean, he's gonna make some plays. He's definitely gonna be a guy that plays on Sundays. So that's just more opportunity for us. I mean, he's gonna make some plays, and DeMarcus will make some plays. That's just how the game goes.
We have any other questions for Zach? If not, we'll let him go here in just a second, and we'll have Alan Bowman to finish. All right, thanks, Zach.
Appreciate you.
All right, we'll finish up with Alan Bowman. We'll go ahead and start with questions. We'll start with Eric.
Alan, in terms of how you guys had maybe a little more success throwing the ball down the field in the second half, is it just as simple as guys making plays and maybe the execution being a little better?
Yeah, I think it's just that. It's give those guys on the outside. We have a really talented receiver core, and I think the past couple of weeks, me personally, kind of the offense, we need to give them more shots, and I think that's what the game plan was coming into this week was to feed those guys. And I guess kind of the first half kind of didn't click as much, and then second half just started clicking, started rolling, and we got a lot of guys downfield, which was good.
Maybe it's a more difficult question than I'm making it seem, but because if you could, you'd fix it. But what is the difference that just those one mistakes that seem to be haunting you in terms of pick six last 2 weeks ago and now a pick six again?
Yeah, I think the defender made a good play. The one in Baylor, we were trying to go in up tempo, trying to go quick, and the guy, they were lining up, and I just thought it was uncovered, caught it, throw it, didn't even look, and kind of ran underneath it. This one, we kind of wanted a little rub play, 2 to 3. They play off man. They play a lot of man coverage, obviously. They also have a little off man defense. So I thought we could kind of get a rub with number 2 and have the number 1 coming in the slant. And then whoever was number 3, that safety kind of had a really nice read, broke on it, and kind of one of those things where as soon as you let it go, it's like, uh-oh. So, yeah, that one, more upset, obviously, about any interception, but the one in Baylor was tough, kind of just threw it right to him. But that one, defender made a good play, and it was a good read, bad read by me. But
Go to Jarrett.
Hey, Alan. Eric asked Coach Wells earlier, and I kind of alluded to it here a minute ago, but it does appear that y'all are more aggressive in terms of play calling and going deep in the second half. Is that the case, or is that just the appearance, what we're seeing?
yeah, I think that's just the appearance of kind of how the offense and how the game goes. We want to take shots every time we can. First half, second half, doesn't really matter. We took a couple to Eric in the first half. We had the one that was real close to Eric on the sideline that wasn't complete. So in the first half, I guess the second half, obviously we're down, so we're going a little more vertical. But the first half, I don't think there's any difference of half. So when we want to go vertical, it's all the time.
Go back to Eric.
Alan, what do you attribute to your ability mentally to bounce back, which is something that for guys at the college level, even the NFL level, can be difficult at times?
Yeah, I think it goes back to my high school days. I started as a freshman in high school, so obviously made a lot of freshman mistakes, and kind of what I've just been told all throughout my football career is, so what, next play? I can't change anything about it. I throw an interception, throw a pick six. There's nothing that I can do now to change it other than to be better the next play and to be better the next play and kind of forget. The rear view mirror is a lot shorter than the windshield. So kind of keep looking forward, keep moving forward, and to just totally forget about it and keep moving on.
Even more so than maybe years past, how deep is this receiving core? It seems like every week there's a new guy who makes some unreal play.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun to play with these guys, and I think it was kind of a testament to our receivers themselves, testament to the Coach Filani, getting those guys ready, and yeah, it's a lot of fun, and finally kind of got to see it a little bit in action today, seeing those guys getting hit vertical, and to see it's kind of a potential of, we can do this week in, week out, and with anybody, it doesn't matter who's on the field, we're for 3, 4, 5 deep with those outside guys, and especially with the slots too. And so, but yeah, when we hit vertical, you see what happens.
Go to Don.
Alan, the play that you guys took the lead on in the third quarter, the touchdown pass to Eric, it looked kind of like some of those over routes like Oklahoma runs. Can you kind of describe the concept and how that clicked?
Yeah, so we didn't steal the exact play from Oklahoma, but they do run that a lot. They run a play like that in different formations about 2 or 3 times a game. But it's basically like a rollout, and so you kind of have the number 1 on the backside, runs a deep post, kind of clean up everything. Number 2 on the backside runs an over route. So then we roll out like it's like a whole big naked rollout, and then we kind of have Eric as runs a little drag initially. So it's just kind of for the safeties and linebackers, it's hard for them to kind of understand because they have 2 guys going deep to the right, the quarterback rolling out, and then they see a little under drag. That's all they see. And then as soon as Eric crosses like the center, then he shoots up to the corner. So obviously in man coverage that play, we tried to run it again on the safety, but they were in zone and Eric beat his man. Eric and then hit vertical, and I had a chance and he made a great play and made a guy miss, ran down the sideline. But yeah, it's pretty much a naked play. with a shallow guy coming, and then once he gets past the center, shoots up down the seam, and I set up and throw it back to him.
How has Loic been progressing behind the scenes to get the opportunity that he got there late in the game?
Yeah, so Loic, a great guy, smart kid, kind of comes in, works in every day, puts his head down and grinds. Obviously, we got a bunch of good guys on outside receiver room, but he is a true freshman coming in, has all the talent in the world, going to be a really, really, really good receiver. I'm happy. I'm really happy for him that he got to make a play, got a touchdown, especially on a vertical shot. But yeah, I mean, he's grinding every day. He's gained some weight. And so, yeah, but just kind of his working on his technique and working on his craft and kind of watching those guys ahead of him has really kind of paid dividends for him now, and especially pulling up in the fourth quarter.
All right, we'll finish with this last one from Don.
Noticing that Henry did not go through pregame, and Matt said earlier that he was managing an injury and was available kind of just on an emergency basis. Did you then get most of the week knowing that this was going to be your game for the most part?
I wouldn't say that. Maybe the bye week, not really. Monday and Tuesday was kind of back and forth. And I think it happened. Whatever. On Wednesday, I knew he kind of was working on it, helping out, trying to get it better. But yeah, I didn't know. It doesn't matter. Put me in, whatever. I put Henry in. I guarantee you, both of us want to compete. Both of us want to play. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say there.
All right, perfect. Thank you. We'll see you on Monday.
Thank you, guys.